Welcome to part 10 of our Dark Forces lore play series. Last time we recovered some Imperial navigational data so we could find the Arkhammer, the mobile facility that produced the Dark Troopers. The past few levels have hinted at a mysterious criminal kingpin that's been helping supply the project, and now we've gone and pissed him off by interfering. So he captures us, and it turns out to be none other than Jabba the Hutt. So he takes all of our stuff, imprisons Jan Ors, and attempts to execute us the only way he knows how, by throwing us into a pit with a monster. Say what you will about Durga the Hutt from the much maligned book Darksaber, but when he wanted to execute someone, he just shot them. I appreciate his straightforward approach. But here we're fighting a Kell dragon, barehanded, and we literally just have to punch it to death, which takes a good long while. So while I do that, here's some trivia. The Kell dragon was originally meant to be a crate dragon, which makes sense considering Jabba's palace being on Tatooine. But since the crate dragons were already known in lore to be much larger, the game designers renamed it to a Kell. However, they're meant to be like biological cousins to the crate. Jabba should have sent a crate after us. He should know Kyle Katarn won't go down from some punk Kell. Once the Kell is dead, the door just opens up. Why? Who decided, oh, that guy just killed a dragon with his bare hands? It's probably safer to give him access to the entire ship instead of keeping him locked up in the pit. At any rate, we're out and free to kill much lesser beings with our fists until we find our gear. This ship is called the Star Jewel, and it's Jabba's personal yacht. It shares some design similarities with his sail barge and was basically like a flying mini palace. It was a minstrel-class yacht manufactured by Ubrikian Industries, which is actually a cannon company at this point. One of its cannon products was Jabba's sail barge, the skiffs, and the Imperial troop transport. Also, and we don't see them here, but the Star Jewel had its own squadron of Z-95 headhunters assigned to protect it. I've gotta say, even though this level just feels like it's meant to fill out the game a little more, it's at least interesting. It's different in terms of level design and gameplay, and that's refreshing. Although you still need to search for a key someone misplaced, and this time it's in the waste pit, along with a Dianoga. Who put this here? Were they taking out the trash and they got snagged by the Dianoga, and then their final act was to make sure the key survived? The keys are always in the most random places. But I digress. The main enemies on this ship are Gomorians, Gran, and Trandoshans. So it seems like a good time to talk about them and why they're so frequently seen helping Jabba. Gomorians were primitive and usually not very bright. In Legends, their technology was about 25,000 years behind most of the galaxy. They actively disliked what they called magic, but really they just meant any remotely advanced technology. They also hated the idea of servitude and wouldn't work with races that were not Gomorian unless they were beaten in combat. And that's how they were recruited by Jabba. He would send thugs to challenge Gomorians, and if they lost, they would fall in line. The Gran are basically included in this game because of one bad egg named Ree-yees. He was a murderer and an alcoholic, and he was forced to flee the Gran homeworld of Kinyin for his crimes. He made his way to Jabba's palace to hide, and because he was seen there in Return of the Jedi, now his entire race is portrayed as criminals. The Trandoshan race is another story. I think it's completely reasonable for them to be considered to be mostly bad guys because I don't think we've ever seen an example of a friendly Trandoshan. They're like the Boltons of Star Wars. Bossk also made an appearance at Jabba's palace, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jabba hired more than just him. Actually, according to some background information in Dark Forces, these Trandoshans were thought to be members of a gang known as the Sisk. That gang was credited with the creation of the Stoker concussion rifle used by them throughout the game. Well, we got the nav card back, and we're nearing Jan Ors, so it's about that time for a Kyle Katarn joke. Red 5 submitted that Kyle Katarn was the only stormtrooper that could hit anything. I like a joke that actually uses lore. That's a good reminder that before all this, yes, Kyle was a stormtrooper, and he ran into Jan back in the day and spared her life. That's what led to her recruiting Kyle, and they're still best buds today. Ow, what's wrong with her head? Well, despite the glitch, we've saved Jan, so it's time to wrap up. If you want to see the rest of this series, make sure to check out the playlist here. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.